My dilemma from yesterday was how to guard a press brake. You probably never heard of a press brake. It is a hydraulic power press which can bend metal very easily. But the problem is it's just not a regular press. It's a press brake, and it's a very long metal bending machine, and they're very difficult to guard. And so one of my consultants went out and said, hey, you got to put a guard on this. And the usual thing is there's different ways you can guard it. You can't just guard it with a simple metal guard in front of it so you can't stick your fingers in there, because it's a big, long piece that you have to guard. And so they were looking at spending $15,000, $20,000 on putting a light guard in there. Kind of like an elevator, it has like a little beam, and if you break the beam, it stops working. Very expensive. Of course, the employer's like, don't have that kind of money. So I went out there and drove all the way out there to help troubleshoot this. We were talking about putting hand restraints. You put like a bar behind you, and you put these little things on your thing so you can't actually physically stick your fingers in the point of operation. Very cumbersome, hard to do with big sheets of metal ducting, because that's what they do, is they bend metal ducting, the stuff of ventilation systems in buildings. Very important, essential service. Didn't stop a day for COVID. And so I watched it, and I'm like, okay, how are we gonna do this? So I just ended up with one employer I had to say, you need a light guard to protect your employee from sticking his fingers in the point of operation. And when they were showing me how to do it, you hit the foot pedal and the thing comes down to 3/8 of an inch, which will clearly smush your fingers. And the same case was with this one too. He's like, it's no problem. It'll come down to 3/8 of an inch, and it'll crush your fingers a little bit. I'm like, it'll crush your fingers a lot. Let me tell you that much, and you're not going to be happy if you do that. So the light guard was looking pretty impractical. So I just went up there and said, can I just stand here? And I, by the foot pedals, I'm like, see, I can stick my fingers and lower the press onto my fingers to 3/8 of an inch, which is about half the size of my fingers. And I go, how can we get around this? How can we not have you stick your fingers in the point of operation? And it was just good enough. There was like a little shield. All they had to do is extend a shield a little bit further, and the guy wouldn't be able to reach around and stick his fingers in the point of operation while he actuated the foot pedal. So instead of hand restraints, a light guard, or even a metal guard, I just had him extend out a metal or a plexiglass shield so the guy can't stick his fingers in the point of operation. Street legal. Mystery solved. And only because I've investigated so many finger amputations, so people can't go at me and say, well, it's not likely to happen. I'm like, well, how many amputated fingers have you investigated? Because I've done over 100. Basically, I break it down to like, how do we keep the person from sticking their fingers into the point of operation? And the guy, when you're dealing with metal fabrication shops, it's great because they say, well, can you put a guard here? They're like, yeah, we can do that up by this afternoon. I'm like, then do it. So that's exactly what happened. Save this guy 15, 20 grand on a light guard on a machine. And we rolled out of there like in 15 minutes. My drive there took longer than the actual solving the problem. But that's what I get paid the big bucks for.